everyone, it's Miss Margrave. Today we're going to be writing a finding tale. A finding tale is when the main character finds something, when they remove it, something goes wrong, and the main character has to fix it, and they learn their lesson in the end. You'll need a piece of paper, a pencil, and colouring pens and pencils if you wish to decorate it afterwards. You can copy my story, or you can think of your own. If you're going to think of your own, you need to think of your own main character, either a mermaid or a merman would be a good idea, an object that they find, and what happens when that object is removed. In my story, I've got a main character, which is a mermaid called Mia. I have a magic object, which is a shell, and when they remove the shell, all the coral around it dies. That's what happens in my story. So pause now if you need to think of your own ideas. For this story, you're going to need 8 boxes. You can have an adult to help you draw them for you, or you can draw freehand. Okay. So we're going to start with box number 1. My sentence starter is, deep down below the surface. So they're in the sea, but right at the bottom of the sea, deep down below the surface. It's quite a long one, that one, so take your time. Deep down below the surface. Deep down below the surface, there lived a mermaid called Mia. So I'm going to draw my main character here, you can draw yours. So here's my main character, here's Mia. Just got her tail there, and her top. Okay, so deep down below the surface, there lived a mermaid called Mia. I'm just going to draw some of the bits around her under the sea to make the setting really easy to identify. There's the coral, there's some seaweed, lots of lovely things around her. Okay, so I've done my first box now, ready for my second one. Number 2. My sentence starter for this one is one day. I'm going to write that at the top of the box. One day. One day, Mia was swimming through the coral reef when she noticed a shell that caught her eye. So I'm going to draw Mia, and she's again, and she's swimming through the coral reef. There we go, and here's all the coral. And the seaweed, and she notices something here. So here's my lovely shell. This is what she notices. You can draw your object that she's going to find under the sea. And it caught her eye. So I'm going to draw a pair of eyes to remind me that it caught her eye. Okay, ready for box number 3 now. My sentence starter is so. She was swimming through the coral reef. She spotted the shell, it caught her eye, so she decided to swim closer. So I'm going to draw an arrow, I'm going to write swam closer. She swam closer to get a better look. When she got closer, she thought it was beautiful. It was glowing, it's glittery, so she decided to pick it up. So I'm going to draw the hand coming down and picking up this shell. There we go, okay. And around the shell there was lots of coral again and lovely seaweed. Okay, ready for box number 4 now. Number 4, my sentence starter is as soon as. As soon as. So as soon as she's taken the object, whatever your character has taken, as soon as that's happened, we need to think about what happens once it's been removed. So as soon as she swam away to go back home, the coral began to gradually die. So I'm going to draw the coral just starting to be a bit flat. It's not all dead yet, but it's slowly, gradually dying. Some pieces are okay. Some are going a bit rotten. I'm going to write die gradually. It's happening slowly. Okay. Ready for box number 5 now. My sentence starts with the next morning. The next morning. The next morning, she swam again through the coral reef. She swam through. But to her dismay, she noticed that the coral was dead. So I'm going to draw some eyes. I'm going to draw her face. And she's shocked. Her eyes are wide. And her mouth is open. She's really shocked. She's noticed that the coral was all dead. She's thinking, oh my goodness, what's happened? There we go. It's all just in piles on the bottom of the seabed. It's all black and it looks really horrible, not colourful anymore. So I'm ready for box number 6 now. She realised, that's my sentence starter, she realised that where she took the shell from is where the coral had begun to die. So this is the spot where she took the shell, and all around it is the dead coral and seaweed, all black and dark. She noticed that's where she took it from, so she's having a thought bubble here. She's thinking, oh, that's where I took that lovely shell from. She's wondering to herself, oh, that must have made the coral die. So we're on to box number 7 now. Sentence starter is so. So she realised that where she took the shell from, it's made the coral die. So she needs to fix that problem now. So she decided to put the shell back. So here's her hand, reaching in, and she's putting the shell back. And immediately, straight away, the coral began to grow back. So here's the lovely seaweed and the lovely coral looking fresh again, nice and colourful. As soon as she puts it back, so she realised that because she took the shell, that's what happened, it made the coral die. So she's put it back, she's fixed the problem. So we're on to our final box now, box number 8, and the sentence starter is thankfully. Thankfully, or you could use luckily, thankfully, the coral was restored. It was brought back to life, back to its original shape. Here's Mia. Mia's happy again. And she's learnt her lesson. Not to touch something that doesn't belong to you. Okay, that's the end of my story. So you can now colour yours in, you can act it out to friends and family, you can make it into a book, you can perform it as well. So I'm going to do mine with actions now, starting at box number 1. Deep down below the surface, there lived a mermaid called Mia. One day, she swam through the coral reef and she spotted an interesting looking shell. So she swam closer to get a better look. She loved the look of the shell, so she decided to take it. As soon as she swam away, the coral began to gradually die. The next morning, she swam back through the coral reef and she noticed that the coral had died. She realised that where she took the shell from, the coral had died. So she thought carefully and she immediately put the shell back, and as she did, the coral began to grow and become colourful again. Thankfully, the coral was restored and Mia had learnt her lesson not to touch something that doesn't belong to her. I hope you enjoyed the story.